Weeks passed since Lisa led Squad Delta to victory in the simulation. The Academy buzzed with quiet talk about the human who outthought the drones and earned Vork's grudging respect. But Lisa did not rest. She trained harder. She studied alien physiology, memorized emergency protocols for 23 species, and spent hours in the strategy dome running war games alone. She knew admiration was fragile. One mistake could erase everything. Then came the alert. It blared through every corridor at dawn. Sharp, urgent, impossible to ignore. All cadets to the central briefing hall. Immediate assembly, no exceptions. Lisa arrived with her squad already formed. Zeke adjusted his wrist guards. Tara smoothed her feathers. Grok cracked his knuckles. They moved like a single unit now, no hesitation, no doubt. They trusted her. That trust weighed heavier than any armor. In the hall, the air was thick with tension. High Command stood on the elevated platform. Mile, the cephalopod commander, floated slightly above the floor, his tentacles still, a sign of deep concern. Beside him stood Vork, his usual arrogance replaced by grim focus. A deep space distress signal was received 3 hours ago. Mile announced. Origin. The Outer Rim Research Station, Helios 9. Last known status, under attack. Transmission cut mid-sentence. Only one word came through clearly, Reapers. A ripple of fear moved through the crowd. The Reapers were not a species. They were a myth. Scavenger warlords who stripped colonies bare, took prisoners for parts and left nothing but silence. Most believed they were extinct. But if they were real and active, the Outer Rim was in grave danger. Due to proximity and readiness, Mail continued, Squad Delta has been assigned rapid response. You will deploy in 1 hour. Your mission, assess the situation, rescue any survivors, and gather intel. Do not engage unless necessary. This is a recon op, not a battle. Lisa's heart pounded, but her face showed nothing. She nodded once. Yes, sir. Back in the prep bay, her squad worked in silence. They suited up in light combat gear. Flexible armor, short-range comms, med kits, and non-lethal pulse rifles. Lisa checked each weapon herself. She loaded extra power cells, sealed her helmet, and ran a final systems check. You ready? Zeke asked. As I'll ever be, Lisa replied. The dropship was small and fast, painted matte black. It launched without fanfare, slipping through the atmosphere like a shadow. Space stretched before them, endless and cold. Lisa watched the stars blur into streaks as they jumped to warp. She thought of Helios 9, just a name on a map until now. Soon it would be real. Soon it would be blood and smoke. They arrived at the edge of the station's orbit. The comms were dead, no response to hails. Sensors showed minimal power, no active defenses. The station hung in the void like a corpse. We go in quiet, Lisa said over the squad channel. Tara, your eyes. Sick, Gemini active signals. Grok, watch our 6. Stay sharp. They docked at an emergency airlock. The outer door hissed open, revealing darkness. Lisa stepped inside first, her rifle raised. The interior was cold. Lights flickered. Walls were scorched. Blood smeared the floor. Not human blood, but thick and blue from the station's xenobiology team. No bodies, Tara whispered from above, perched on a ceiling beam. That's worse, Lisa said. They took them. They moved deeper. Every corridor felt like a trap. Lisa's instincts screamed. Something was wrong. Too quiet. Too clean. Then she saw it, a faint glint on the floor. A tripwire, almost invisible. Stop, she hissed. Too late. Grok's foot brushed the wire. Alarms blared. Panels slid open in the walls. Mechanical arms unfolded, tipped with needles and syringes. Not weapons, harvesters. Designed to capture, not kill. Ambush, Lisa yelled. Fall back. But the doors sealed behind them. They were locked in. Reaper tech, Zeke said, voice tight. They're testing us. Lisa's mind raced. These weren't random scavengers. This was organized. Precise. They knew the Academy would send help. They wanted them here. Then a voice crackled over the station's broken speakers. Distorted, layered, inhuman. Human Cadet Lisa, we have been waiting. Lisa froze. They knew her name. You are small, the voice continued. Soft. Fragile. But you broke Vork's jaw. You led where others followed. You are interesting. Show yourself, Lisa demanded. We prefer to watch. For now, complete the trial, survive, or join the others in the tanks. The harvesters lunged. Lisa fired her pulse rifle. Blue energy bolt struck the nearest arm, shorting its circuits. Sick darted forward, slicing wires with his forearm blades. Terra dropped from above, disabling sensors with precise shots. Grok roared and smashed 2 arms with his bare hands, but more kept coming. The room filled with whirring metal. Lisa spotted a control panel behind a shattered console. She sprinted for it, dodging a needle that grazed her shoulder. Pain flared, but she ignored it. She ripped open the panel and jammed her knife into the main relay. Sparks flew. The harvesters froze. Silence returned. "Breathe," Lisa said, leaning against the wall. "Check your gear." Grok held his side. A needle had pierced his armor. His skin turned gray around the wound. "Toxin," Zeke said. "Fast-acting." Lisa pulled a medkit from her belt. She injected Grok with a broad-spectrum anti-venom. It might not work, but it was all they had. "We can't stay here," Terra said. "They'll send more." Lisa nodded. "But we can't leave without answers." They mentioned tanks, prisoners, we find them. They moved toward the station's core. The deeper they went, the more signs of struggle they found. Shattered glass, torn uniforms, claw marks on the walls. Then they heard it. A low hum. And voices. Crying, they reached a sealed lab. Through the reinforced window, they saw rows of glass cylinders. Inside floated bodies. Aliens of all kinds, connected to tubes, eyes open but unseeing. Alive but not living. Among them was a human. A young woman, maybe Lisa's age, pale and still. A tag on her tank read Earth Colony Gamma 7. Lisa's breath caught. Another human. So far from home. "We get her out," Lisa said. Zach found a manual override. The door groaned open. Inside, the air was thick with chemicals. Lisa ran to the human's tank. She searched for a release valve. Found it. Twisted. The fluid drained. The girl collapsed. Lisa caught her. Laid her on the floor, checked for breath. "Weak, but there. Who are you?" Lisa asked softly. The girl's eyes fluttered open. "Lily," she whispered. "They took us from the colony. Said humans were rare, valuable." Lisa's jaw tightened. The Reapers weren't just raiding. They were collecting. Experimenting. "We're getting you out," Lisa promised. But as she lifted Lily, alarms blared again. Heavier this time. Footsteps echoed in the hall, metal on metal. "Big, they're coming," Terra said. Lisa handed Lily to Grok. "Get her to the ship now. What about you?" Zik asked. "We buy time." "No, Lisa. We fight together." She looked at her squad, at the trust in their eyes, and nodded. Together. They set traps in the corridor. Zik wired explosive charges to the ceiling. Terra rigged motion sensors to flashbangs. Grok braced the far door with a support beam. Lisa stood in the center, rifle ready. The door exploded inward. 3 Reapers entered. Not aliens. Machines. Humanoid frames covered in scavenged armor, eyes glowing red, limbs ending in blades and drills. They moved with eerie coordination. Lisa fired. The others triggered their traps. Flashbangs blinded the machines. Charges dropped debris from above. Grok charged, swinging a metal pipe like a club. But the Reapers adapted. One dodged Grok, lunged at Lisa. She rolled, came up firing. Her shot sparked off its chest. It grabbed her rifle, crushed it. She drew her knife. The Reaper struck. She blocked with her forearm guard. Pain shot up her arm. She kicked its knee joint. It staggered. She drove the knife into its neck port. Sparks flew. It collapsed. Zach took down another with a well-placed blade to its spine. Terra blinded the third with a sonic pulse, and Grok finished it with a crushing blow. Silence. Lisa leaned against the wall, breathing hard. Blood dripped from a cut on her brow. Her squad gathered around, battered but alive. "We did it," Terra said. "Not yet," Lisa said. "We still have to get off this station." They carried Lily back to the ship. The dropship's medbay stabilized her. As they lifted off, Lisa looked down at Helios 9. It shrank into the darkness, but she knew the Reapers weren't gone. They were watching. Learning. Back at the academy, debriefing lasted hours. High command was shaken. The Reapers were real, and they were targeting humans specifically. "Why?" Mail asked Lisa. "Because we're new," she said. "Unknown. To them we're a puzzle, or a threat. Either way, they want to understand us before we become too strong." Fork stood in the corner, arms crossed. When Lisa met his eyes, he gave a single nod. Not of approval. Of warning. That night, Lisa visited Lily in the infirmary. The girl was awake, eating nutrient paste, her color returning. "Thank you," Lily said. "I thought I'd die in that tank." "You're safe now," Lisa said. "For how long?" Lily asked softly. They'll come again. They always do. Lisa sat beside her. Then we'll be ready. In the days that followed, the academy changed. Security doubled. Training intensified. Lisa was given full command of a new unit. Cadets from every species, all volunteers. They called themselves the Edge. Not the front line. Not the rear guard. The Edge, where danger met defense. Lisa trained them not just to fight, but to think. To adapt. To protect the weak, not just defeat the strong. She taught them that courage wasn't the absence of fear, but the choice to act despite it. One evening, as she reviewed patrol routes, Vork found her. "You've changed them," he said. "Or they changed me," Lisa replied. The training hall of the Galactic Defense Academy was cold and quiet, except for the sound of heavy breathing. Rows of alien cadets stood in perfect lines, their armor gleaming under the harsh overhead lights. Among them stood Lisa, the only human in the entire class. She was small compared to the others. Most of them towered over her with thick hides, sharp claws, or multiple limbs. But Lisa held her ground. Her uniform was neat, her posture straight, and her eyes focused ahead. At the front of the hall stood Instructor Vork. He was a Krellian, tall and covered in dark green scales that shimmered when he moved. His yellow eyes scanned the cadets like a predator looking for weakness. He had never liked humans. To him, they were soft, emotional, and too fragile to survive real combat. He made sure everyone knew it. Today was evaluation day. Each cadet would face a series of tests: hand-to-hand combat, tactical response, and live-fire drills. Vork walked slowly down the line, his tail dragging behind him like a warning. When he reached Lisa, he stopped. A cruel smile spread across his face. "So," he said, "the human is still here. I thought you would have quit by now. Your kind breaks easily." Lisa did not look at him. She kept her eyes forward and said nothing. She had learned early on that words would not change his mind. Only action would. Vork leaned closer. "You think you belong among warriors? You barely weigh enough to trigger the gravity sensors. You humans are a mistake. Weak. Fragile. Doomed to fail." A murmur ran through the other cadets. Some looked away. Others smirked. No one defended her. Lisa had expected that. She had been alone since day one, but something in Vork's voice, something smug and final, made her blood burn. She had trained every night after lights out. She had run drills until her legs gave out. She had studied alien combat styles, learned how to read body language across species, and practiced until her hands were raw. She was not weak, and she would not be erased by his words. As Vork turned to walk away, still speaking, still mocking, Lisa moved. In one smooth motion, she stepped forward, twisted her body, and drove her fist upward. Her knuckles struck Vork's jaw with a sharp crack that echoed through the silent hall. The instructor stumbled back, his eyes wide with shock. Blood trickled from his mouth. He touched his jaw, then stared at Lisa as if she were something impossible. The other cadets froze. No one moved. No one spoke. Lisa lowered her hand but did not retreat. She met Vork's gaze without fear. "You call us weak," she said, her voice steady. "But you've never seen what we can do when we have nothing left to lose." For a long moment, Vork said nothing. Then slowly, he wiped the blood from his chin. A strange look crossed his face, not anger, but something like realization. He nodded once, turned, and walked away without another word. The next morning, the academy was buzzing. News of the human cadet who punched Instructor Vork spread faster than a plasma fire. Cadets whispered in the corridors. Some called her reckless. Others called her brave. A few even looked at her with something like respect. Lisa ignored them all. She went to training as usual, her boots clicking against the metal floor. But things had changed. When she entered the combat ring, the other cadets made space for her. No one shoved her. No one laughed. Later that day, Vork appeared at the edge of the training field. He watched as Lisa practiced evasion drills against a drone. She moved like water, slipping past strikes, using the drone's momentum against it, striking only when necessary. Vork said nothing, but he stayed until the drill ended. That evening, Lisa received a message on her wrist terminal. It was an official notice. She had been assigned to lead Squad Delta in the upcoming field simulation. It was a mixed species team, and no human had ever commanded one before. She read the message twice, then closed her eyes. This was her chance. The next week was intense. Lisa studied her squad members' files. Zik was a six-limbed insectoid from the hive worlds, fast, precise, but prone to overconfidence. Terra was avian, light and agile with eyes that could track movement at impossible speeds. Grok was an amphibious brute from the deep marshes of Golar, strong, loyal, but slow to adapt. At their first meeting, they were skeptical. A human leading them? Zik crossed his arms. You hit Vork. That's impressive, but leading a squad is different. Lisa didn't argue. She simply said, show me what you can do. They ran a mock ambush in the training dome. Zeke tried to flank her from above. Tara darted in with blinding speed. Grok charged head-on. Lisa didn't try to match their strength. Instead, she used the environment, dodging behind pillars, triggering smoke canisters, and using sound echoes to confuse their senses. Within 3 minutes, she had disarmed Tara, tripped Zeke, and pinned Grok with a pressure point hold. How? Grok asked, panting. Because I studied you, Lisa said. I knew how you'd move before you moved. From that moment, they listened. As the simulation date neared, Lisa drilled them hard. They practiced communication signals, fallback plans, and emergency extraction. She taught them to trust not just her, but each other. She never raised her voice. She never bragged. She simply led by example. The day of the simulation arrived. The objective was simple. Infiltrate a simulated enemy base, disable the core reactor, and extract without being detected. The catch? The base was guarded by autonomous hunter drones programmed to adapt in real time. Squad Delta entered the simulation zone through a narrow canyon. Lisa moved in front, her senses sharp. She signaled for silence. Ahead, a drone patrol moved in a predictable pattern. But Lisa knew it wouldn't stay that way for long. She split the squad. Tara would scout from above. Zeke would disable the outer sensors and Grok would hold the rear. Lisa would go in alone to plant the charge. But as she neared the reactor room, the drones changed tactics. They stopped patrolling and began sweeping the area in coordinated waves. Someone had altered the simulation parameters. Lisa's heart pounded, but she didn't panic. She signaled for her team to fall back to the extraction point. She would complete the mission alone. Inside the reactor chamber, red lights flashed. The core hummed with dangerous energy. Lisa placed the charge, set the timer, and turned to leave, only to find the exit sealed. Drones blocked every door. She was trapped. But Lisa remembered something Vork had once said during a lecture. A true warrior does not fight the enemy. She becomes the enemy's mistake. She activated her comm. Tara, can you see the ventilation shaft above the reactor? Yes, came the reply. Good. Blow it open. Moments later, a small explosion rocked the ceiling. Debris rained down. Lisa climbed the falling rubble, leaped into the shaft, and crawled through the narrow passage. She emerged on the roof just as the charge detonated below. The base shook. Alarms wailed. Her squad waited at the extraction point. When they saw her running toward them, covered in dust but alive, they cheered. Back at the academy, the results were posted. Squad Delta had not only completed the mission, they had done it faster and with fewer casualties than any other team. The command staff was stunned. Fork stood among them, arms crossed, but there was no mockery in his eyes this time. That night, Lisa sat alone on the academy's outer ledge, watching the stars. Earth was just a pale dot in the sky. So far away it felt like a dream. She missed her home, her family, the smell of rain on dry soil. But she also knew she could never go back to being just a girl from a small town. She was something more now. A shadow fell beside her. It was Vork. You surprised me, he said. Lisa looked at him. I didn't do it to surprise you. I did it because it was right. Vork was silent for a long time. Then he said, Your species. Perhaps I judged too quickly. Lisa nodded. We all make mistakes. He turned to leave, then paused. Tomorrow you will run the advanced combat seminar. The cadets need to see what real discipline looks like. Lisa smiled faintly. Yes, sir. As Vork walked away, Lisa looked back at the stars. She was still the only human in the academy, but she was no longer alone. And that was enough. The dropship cut through the void like a blade through smoke. Lisa sat in the pilot seat, eyes fixed on the star map flickering on her screen. The signal had come from Sector 9, deep in the outer arm where few ships dared to go. It was faint, broken, but unmistakably human. A voice repeating 2 words over and over. Help us. Her squad was quiet behind her. Lily checked medkits. Zik sharpened his blades. Tara monitored long-range sensors. Grok sat with his eyes closed, conserving strength. They had done this before, but this time felt different. Heavier. As if the galaxy itself held its breath. They dropped out of warp near a derelict mining station orbiting a dead star. The place was ancient. its hull pitted with micrometeorites, solar panels long since torn away. No lights, no power signature. Just silence, but the signal came from inside. "We go in slow," Lisa said. "No assumptions, no risks." They docked at a side airlock. The door groaned open, revealing darkness thick with dust. Lisa stepped in first, pulse rifle raised. Her boots echoed on the metal floor. The air was stale, cold, and carried a faint metallic smell. Blood, old and dried. They moved through empty corridors. Abandoned tools lay scattered. Ration wrappers. A child's toy, a small plastic bird half crushed under a bulkhead. Lisa picked it up, tucked it into her pocket. Someone had lived here. Someone had been taken. Then they found the logs. In the command center, a terminal flickered weakly. Lisa jacked in her datapad. The last entry was dated 17 days ago. A woman's voice, strained but calm. "This is Captain Nora Ellis of the Deep Core Mining Station Persephone. We are under attack. Not pirates. Not raiders. They wear no armor. They speak no language. They take only the young. Only the ones with strong neural patterns. They call them keys. We tried to fight. We failed. If anyone hears this, tell Earth we did not go quietly." The recording ended. Lisa stood still for a long moment. Then she turned to her squad. "They're here, and they have children." They searched the station room by room, found empty dormitories, shattered glass, blood on the walls. Then in the lower levels they heard it, a low hum, the same sound from Helios 9. They followed it to a sealed vault. Behind the door, faint lights pulsed. Lisa planted a breaching charge, stepped back. The explosion blew the door inward. Smoke rolled out. Inside, the chamber was lined with pods, 20 of them. Each held a child, suspended in fluid, wires snaking from their temples into a central column that glowed with sickly green light. Their eyes moved behind closed lids. Dreaming. Suffering. But no guards. "Too easy," Zeke said. Lisa knew it too, but she couldn't leave them. "Get the pods open," she ordered. Lily and Grok worked on the release valves. Tara scanned for traps. Zeke stood watch at the door. Lisa approached the central column. It pulsed like a heart. She saw symbols etched into its surface. Reaper script, but mixed with human letters. Names. The children's names. They weren't just using them. They were labeling them. As the first pod drained, a girl no older than 10 collapsed into Lily's arms. She was cold, shivering, but alive. One by one, the children were freed. Wrapped in thermal blankets. Given water. Some cried. Others stared blankly, lost in the aftermath of the machine's grip. "We need to move," Tara said. "Now." Lisa nodded, but as they turned to leave, the lights died. Emergency reds flickered on. The floor vibrated. Deep below, something powered up. "They're waking it," Lisa said. The Reaper gate. They rushed the children toward the exit. Grok carried 3 at once. Lily held 2 by the hand. Zeke and Tara covered the rear. Lisa stayed last, placing explosive charges on the central column. Just as she armed the last one, the floor split open. Not a single Reaper this time. 3 of them rose from the abyss. Taller, sleeker. Their armor fused with what looked like human bone. Their masks turned toward Lisa in unison. No sound, no threat. Just observation. She ran. The charges detonated behind her. Fire and shrapnel filled the vault. She dove through the doorway as the ceiling collapsed. Outside, the squad was already moving the children to the dropship. Alarms blared across the station. Systems failing. Oxygen thinning. "Get them aboard," Lisa yelled. They loaded the last child just as the station's gravity failed. Debris floated in the air. The dropship engines roared to life. Lisa strapped herself in, blood dripping from a gash on her temple. "Clear for launch," she said. They shot into space just as the station imploded behind them. On board. Chaos turned to quiet care. Lily treated the children. Grok sang a low, rumbling lullaby from his homeworld. Tara monitored comms for pursuit. Zeke cleaned his blades, his usual smirk gone, replaced by grim focus. Lisa checked on the girl who had been first freed. Her name was Maya. She clutched the plastic bird Lisa had given her. "You saved us," Maya whispered. Lisa knelt. "No. You survived. That's your strength." Back at the academy, the children were taken to the medical wing. Doctors ran tests, removed implants, began the long work of healing minds as well as bodies. High Command watched in silence. Even the skeptics could not deny what Lisa and her squad had done. Mail called her to his chamber that evening. "You keep finding them," he said. "Why, because no one else is looking," Lisa replied. He floated closer. "The Reapers are not just taking humans. They are studying us, learning how we think, how we feel, how we break. They believe emotion is a flaw, but you use it as a weapon." Lisa looked down. "It's not a weapon. It's a compass. It tells me who to protect." Mail was silent for a long time. Then he said, "There is another signal, stronger this time, from the void between galaxies, a place no ship has returned from." Lisa met his gaze. "I'll go. You may not come back." "Then someone else will take my place," she said, "and they'll keep going." He nodded. "You leave at dawn." That night, Lisa visited the children. Maya was asleep, the bird tucked under her pillow. Elliot sat by the window watching the stars. "Do you think they'll stop?" he asked. Lisa sat beside him. "No, but we can make it harder for them. Every child we save is a voice they can't silence. Every life we protect is a light they can't extinguish." He looked at her. "Are you scared?" "Yes," she said. "But fear doesn't get to decide what's right." At dawn, the Edge assembled in the hangar. No one spoke. They knew this mission was different. The void between galaxies was uncharted, unstable, filled with gravitational anomalies and dead zones where comms failed. But they also knew they had to go. Vork met Lisa at the ramp. He handed her a small device, a Krellian neural dampener. "It will shield your mind from their scans, for a time." "Thank you," she said. He studied her face. "You are not just a cadet anymore. You are a symbol. For your kind. For all of us." "I don't want to be a symbol," Lisa said. "I just want to bring them home." "Sometimes," he said. "That's how symbols are born." The dropship launched into the unknown. Space stretched into nothingness. Stars faded. The void swallowed light itself. For 3 days they drifted in silence. Sensors picked up nothing. Then on the 4th day, a flicker. A structure, not a station. Not a ship, a ring. Floating alone in the dark. Made of black metal and human steel. Fused together like a scar. And at its center a swirling rift, purple, unstable, humming with power. The gate. They approached cautiously. No guards, no signals. Just the ring waiting. Lisa suited up. "I go alone." "No," Lily said. "We go together." Lisa looked at her squad. At the trust, the loyalty, the shared pain. And nodded. They boarded the ring through a narrow hatch. Inside, the walls pulsed with veins of light. The air smelled of ozone and something sweet like burnt sugar. At the center chamber, they found him. A man. Older. Human. Strapped to a throne of wires and bone. His eyes were open, glowing faintly purple. He turned his head slowly toward them. "Dad?" Elliot whispered, stepping forward. The man's lips moved. "Elliot, run." But it wasn't his voice. It was layered, human and machine, pain and command. The Reapers had turned him into the gate's core. They're using him to hold it open, Lisa realized. As long as he lives, the gate stays active. Elliot ran to him, tears streaming. "Dad, it's me." "We're here." The man's hand twitched. "Killed me." Lisa's heart broke, but she knew what had to be done. Before she could move, the walls opened. Reapers emerged, not 3, not 5, but dozens. Silent, watching. They wanted her to choose. Save the father and risk the gate staying open, or end his life and close it forever. Elliot looked at Lisa. "Do it," she nodded. "Zig, Tara, hold them off." "Grok, Lily, get Elliot out. What about you?" Lily asked. "I finished this." They fought like demons. Pulse fire lit the chamber. Zeke danced between Reapers, blades flashing. Tara blinded them with sonic bursts. Grok roared, holding a corridor with his body. Lily dragged a sobbing Elliot toward the exit. Lisa climbed the throne. The man's eyes met hers. "Thank you," he mouthed. She placed her hand on his chest, activated the neural dampener. It surged with energy, overloading the Reaper links in his brain. His body went still. The glow faded. The gate flickered, began to collapse. Lisa ran. She reached the dropship as the ring imploded behind them. The rift closed with a sound like a dying star. On board, Elliot wept. The squad sat in silence, exhausted, grieving, but alive. They returned to the academy as the sun rose over the spires. The children were safe. The gate was gone. The Reapers had lost a key, but Lisa knew it wasn't over. As she stood on the observation deck that night, Vork joined her. "You close the gate," he said. "For now," she replied. He looked at the stars. "They will come again. Then we'll be waiting." He nodded. "The galaxy is changing. Because of you." Dawn came quiet over the academy. The sky bled orange over the spires as Lisa stood at the hangar entrance, her breath forming small clouds in the cold air. Behind her, her new squad, the Edge, loaded gear into the dropship. They were different from Delta. Younger, rawer, but burning with something Lisa recognized, the need to prove they mattered. Among them was Lily, now cleared for light duty, her eyes no longer hollow but sharp with purpose. Vork emerged from the command tower, his scales dull in the early light. He carried a data chip in one claw. "The signal repeats every 6 hours," he said, handing it to Lisa. "Origin point is a dead moon near Krell space. No life signs, no energy output. But the pattern matches Reaper encryption." "Why would they broadcast from a dead zone?" Lily asked. "To lure us," Zeke said, arms crossed. "Or to test us, or both," Lisa said. "We go in silent. No comms once we enter orbit. If it's a trap, we don't give them our voices." The dropship launched without ceremony. Space swallowed them whole. Lisa sat in the pilot seat, hands steady on the controls. She had flown simulators for months, but this was real. Lives depended on her choices now. As they neared the moon, sensors showed nothing. No ships, no structures, just gray rock and silence. "Too quiet," Tara muttered from the co-pilot seat. Lisa cut the engines. They drifted in the shadow of a crater. She suited up, checked her sidearm, and clipped a breaching charge to her belt. "We land here," she said, pointing to a flat ridge. "On foot from there. Stay low. Stay together." The surface was barren, windless, dead. Their boots crunched on frozen dust. Lisa led them toward a faint energy reading deep underground. They found a hatch. Rusted, ancient, but recently oiled. "Someone's been here," Grok rumbled. Lisa knelt. Fresh tracks, boot prints human-sized, her blood ran cold. Not just Reapers. Humans working with them. She signaled for silence. They descended a metal ladder into darkness. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber. In the center stood a machine, tall, pulsing with blue light covered in cables that snaked into the walls. Around it, figures in black armor stood guard. Not Reapers, humans, mercenaries. Their faces were hidden behind mirrored visors, and strapped to the machine, suspended in a web of wires, was another human, a boy no older than 16. His eyes were open, twitching as if dreaming while awake. "They're using him," Lily whispered, horrified, "as a power source, or a key." Lisa's fists clenched. This wasn't just raiding. This was slavery. Worse, experimentation on their own kind. "We get him out," she said. But as she stepped forward, a voice echoed from the shadows. "I knew you'd come." A figure emerged, tall, lean, wearing a patched academy uniform, disgraced, stripped of rank. His face was familiar. Cadet Ryan Mills, washed out 2 years ago for cruelty during live drills, presumed dead. "Ryan?" Lisa said. "You remember me?" He said, smiling without warmth. "I remember you too. The human who thinks she's a hero. You don't understand what's coming, Lisa. The Reapers aren't monsters. They're the future. And humans like us, we get to help build it." "You're working with them," Lisa said, disgust in her voice. "I'm surviving," he shot back. "Earth is a backwater. The galaxy doesn't care about us, but the Reapers do. They see our potential, our pain, our hunger. They offer power. Real power, at the cost of our own people," Lisa asked. Ryan shrugged. "Sacrifice is necessary, that boy. His mind resonates with Reaper tech. He's a bridge. Once the link is stable, they'll open a gate, bring their fleet through, and we'll be on the winning side." Lisa looked at the boy. His fingers twitched. A tear rolled down his cheek. "No," she said. She raised her hand. The Edge moved as one. Chaos erupted. Pulse fire lit the chamber. Zeke darted between pillars, blades flashing. Tara dropped from the ceiling, disabling lights to create cover. Grok charged the nearest mercenary, tackling him into a console. Sparks flew. Lisa went straight for Ryan. He met her with a stun baton. She dodged, kicked his knee. He grunted but swung again. She blocked with her forearm, felt the jolt of electricity sear through her. She gritted her teeth, drove her elbow into his throat. He staggered back, coughing. "You don't get it," he gasped. "We're supposed to be weak. That's what they expect. But we're not. We're smarter, crueler, better. You're just scared, Lisa said. She feinted left, then swept his legs. He hit the ground hard. Before he could rise, she pressed her boot to his chest. Call off your men, she ordered. He laughed. Too late. The machine pulsed brighter. The boy screamed. The walls shook. Deep below, something awakened. The Reapers are coming, Ryan whispered, eyes wide with fear and awe. Lisa didn't hesitate. She turned and ran to the boy. She ripped wires from his arms, ignoring the shocks that burned her hands. Lily rushed to help, injecting him with a sedative to stop the seizures. We have to destroy the machine, Lisa yelled. Zack planted charges on the core. 30 seconds, he shouted. Get clear, Lisa ordered. But as they retreated, the floor split open. From the abyss below, a Reaper rose, not a drone, not a machine, but something ancient. Taller than Grok, armored in black metal fused with bone. Its face a smooth mask with no eyes, only a slit where a mouth should be. It moved slowly, deliberately, as if time meant nothing to it. The squad froze. Run! Lisa screamed. They bolted for the tunnel. The Reaper did not chase. It simply watched as if it already knew they would return. The charges detonated. Fire and debris filled the chamber. The machine collapsed. The boy was safe in Grok's arms. They climbed the ladder as the tunnel collapsed behind them, reached the surface just as the dropship lifted off the ridge. On board, the boy, named Elliot, lay unconscious but stable. Lily held his hand. The others stripped off their scorched armor, breathing hard. We stopped them, Tara said. For now, Lisa replied. Back at the academy, Ryan was locked in a high-security cell. He refused to speak. But the data chip from the machine told enough. The Reapers were building gates across the galaxy, using human neural patterns as keys, and they had more captives. High Command convened an emergency council. Some wanted to quarantine Earth. Others wanted to strike first, burn every suspected outpost. Mail listened, then turned to Lisa. What do you suggest? We find the other captives, she said. We break the link, and we show the Reapers that humans are not tools. We are not keys. We are the lock they can never open. Vork stepped forward. I will lead the intelligence wing, track every signal, every whisper. Lisa looked at him. Thank you. That night she stood again on the observation deck. The stars seemed closer now, more personal. She thought of Elliot's trembling hands, of Lily's quiet strength, of her squad's unwavering loyalty. You're not alone anymore, Lily said, joining her. Lisa smiled faintly. I know. The next morning, training began anew, but this time it wasn't just about combat. Lisa taught her squad how to shield neural signals, how to disrupt Reaper tech, how to recognize signs of human trafficking in deep space. She worked with xenolinguists to decode Reaper patterns. She even visited the Academy archives studying old Earth wars, how small groups had resisted empires with nothing but will and cleverness. Weeks passed, then a break. A freighter reported strange activity near the asteroid belt of Series 9. Energy spikes, encrypted comms, and a distress call, faint but human. Lisa assembled the Edge within the hour. This time, they were ready. As the dropship jumped to warp, Lisa looked at her team. Not just soldiers, not just cadets. Family. They arrived at Series 9 under cover of a solar storm. Sensors were blind. Perfect. They boarded the freighter through a maintenance hatch. Inside, the air smelled of oil and fear. They moved silently through cargo holds, past empty cells, until they heard voices. In the engine room, 5 humans were chained to a console, their wrists bleeding, forced to input codes into a Reaper device. Merc stood guard, rifle slung low. Lisa signaled. Tara took the left. Sick the right. Grok and Lily covered the rear. She went for the leader. It was a woman this time. Scarred face, cold eyes. She saw Lisa and smiled. You're too late, she said. The gate is almost open. Not today, Lisa said. She lunged. The fight was short but brutal. Pulse fire lit the room. Chains were broken. Captives freed. The Reaper device overloaded and exploded, taking half the engine room with it. They escaped just as the freighter's core went critical. Back in orbit, watching the ship burn, Elliot, now strong enough to stand, spoke for the first time. They said we were special, he said softly. That our minds could talk to the machines. But it hurt. It felt like dying every second. You're safe now, Lisa said, are we? He asked. Will it ever stop? Lisa looked at the fire in the void. No, she said, but we'll keep fighting until it does. The Academy declared a new phase. Active defense. No more waiting. Squads like the Edge would hunt Reaper outposts, free captives, and dismantle their networks. Lisa was named Field Commander, first human to hold such rank. Vork gave her a new badge. Not Academy issue. Krellian steel, forged in silence. Wear it well, he said. She pinned it to her chest. That evening, as the twin moons rose, Lisa stood with her squad on the landing pad. New orders had come in. A signal from the outer arm. Faint. Repeating. Human voice. They boarded the dropship without words. The engines hummed to life. Lisa took the pilot seat. Stars stretched ahead. Endless, dark, full of danger, but also full of hope. Because now humans were not just surviving. They were leading, and the galaxy would learn their name. Weeks passed since the gate in the void collapsed. The Academy had grown quieter but not peaceful. Tension hummed in the air like a live wire. Cadets trained harder. Patrols doubled. Every signal from deep space was analyzed twice. The Reapers had gone silent, and that silence scared everyone more than their attacks ever had. Lisa felt it too. She walked the halls with her eyes open, her mind sharp. She visited the children often, Maya, Elliot, the others. They were healing slowly. Some spoke again. Others still flinched at sudden sounds, but they were safe. For now, then came the message, not a distress call, not a signal. A package, left at the Academy's outer gate with no ship, no sender, no trace. Just a small metal box sealed with Reaper insignia. Vork brought it to Lisa personally. He did not touch it. Do not open it here, he said. They took it to the shielded lab. Lisa wore a neural dampener, gloves, full isolation gear. She opened the box slowly. Inside lay a single data crystal, and a note written in human script. You closed one gate. We opened 10. Lisa's blood ran cold. She inserted the crystal into a secure reader. The screen flickered, then showed a map. 10 red dots scattered across known space. Each labeled with a name, each near a human colony or outpost. They weren't hiding anymore. They were declaring war. Mail summoned the council immediately. Voices rose in panic. Some demanded evacuation. Others called for total blockade. A few even suggested surrender. Give the Reapers what they wanted, save the rest. Lisa stood at the back of the room, silent until they turned to her. They want us to scatter, she said, to run. But if we do, they pick us off one by one. We stay, we fight. And we hit them where it hurts, their gates. How? Mail asked. We don't know how they work. We do, Lisa said. They need human minds to stabilize the rifts. That means every gate has a core. A person, like Elliot's father. If we destroy the core, the gate collapses, and if we're wrong, a reptilian commander asked. Then we die trying, Lisa said. But I'm not wrong. After the meeting, Vork found her in the armory. You're planning to strike all 10, he said. Yes, she replied, loading pulse rounds into a new rifle. You don't have enough ships, enough people. I have the edge, she said, and will ask for volunteers. He studied her. You know what this means. Even if you win, you'll be hunted for the rest of your life. I already am, she said. He nodded. Then I go with you. You're an instructor. You have a duty here. My duty is to the truth, he said. And the truth is the galaxy needs humans like you, not as soldiers, as leaders. The next day, Lisa stood before the entire cadet corps. She told them everything, the gates, the captives, the choice ahead. She did not ask for blind loyalty. She asked for courage. Those who wish to join the Edge, she said, step forward. No shame in staying, only honor in going. To her surprise, nearly half the hall stepped forward. Not just aliens, not just warriors, medics, engineers, linguists, pilots, even some former doubters. They had seen what Lisa had done. They believed. They trained for 7 days. Non-stop. Simulated gate assaults, neural shielding drills, emergency extraction under fire. Lisa taught them how to find the core, how to shut it down fast, how to leave no one behind. On the 8th day, they launched. 10 ships, 10 teams, 10 targets. Lisa led the first strike. Colony Gamma 3, a farming world on the rim. Once peaceful, now silent, they dropped into atmosphere under cloud cover. Sensors showed no movement, no life signs. But the gate pulsed in the center of town. a ring of black metal rising from the main square humming with unnatural light. Lisa's team moved through empty streets. Doors hung open, meals set cold on tables, toys lay abandoned. Then they saw the bodies. Not dead, not alive, standing in rows, eyes glowing faintly, connected by thin wires to the gate, human batteries, living anchors. Among them was a woman holding a baby. Lisa's breath caught. "They're using families," Lily whispered, horrified. Lisa activated her comm. "All teams, report status. Team 2. Gate active, core identified. Team 5. Heavy resistance but holding. Team 7. Core is a child." "God help us." Lisa closed her eyes, then opened them. "We do what we came to do." They moved fast. Zik cut the wires. Tara disabled the support drones. Grok carried the woman and child to safety. Lisa climbed the gate's frame, found the central node, a human skull fused with circuitry, and planted a charge. As she did, a voice echoed in her mind. Not through comms, through the gate itself. "You cannot stop us," it whispered. "Your kind is weak, emotional, doomed." "We're not weak," Lisa thought back. "We're connected. And that's something you'll never understand." She triggered the charge. The gate exploded in a shower of sparks and shattered bone. The people collapsed, freed from the link. Medics rushed in. The baby cried, a sound more beautiful than any victory hymn. One down. Over the next 48 hours, the other teams struck. Some succeeded cleanly. Others faced ambushes. Team 4 lost 2 cadets. Team 9 barely escaped with their core. A teenage boy who had been awake the whole time, screaming inside his own mind. But all 10 gates fell. When the last explosion faded, silence returned to the colonies. Not the silence of fear, the silence of peace. The Reapers did not respond. No counterattack, no message, just absence. Back at the academy, the survivors were honored, not with medals, with names carved into the memorial wall. Those lost, those saved, those who stood when others ran. Lisa stood before the wall that evening, her hand resting on the name of a cadet from Team 4. She felt no triumph. "Only wait," Vork joined her. "You did it," he said. "We did," she replied, "but they'll be back." "Maybe," he said, "but now they know something." "What?" "That humans don't break. They bend, they adapt, they protect, and when pushed too far, they burn the whole sky down." Lisa looked at the stars. Maybe that's enough. The next morning, a new message arrived. Not from the Reapers. From Earth. The United Colonies had formed a defense pact. Human ships were being built, not for war, but for rescue. For patrol, for hope. And they wanted Lisa to lead them. She almost said no. She was tired. Her hands still shook sometimes. Her dreams were full of gates and glowing eyes. But then she saw Maya in the courtyard teaching a younger child how to tie a knot. Something Lisa had shown her. She saw Elliot helping engineers rebuild comms. She saw her squad, whole and ready, waiting for her word. She accepted. Weeks later, Lisa stood on the bridge of the first human-led deep space vessel, named the Dawn Runner. Not a warship, a lifeline. Her crew was mixed. Aliens and humans, veterans and rookies, all who believed in the same thing, that no one should be left behind. As the ship launched, Lisa looked out at the endless dark. She knew the Reapers were still out there watching, waiting, learning, but so was she. And this time she wasn't alone. She had a crew, a mission, a future. The galaxy had once called humans weak. Now, it would learn their strength. And Lisa would make sure every lost voice was found, every stolen life returned, every gate closed for good, because that was who they were. Not fragile, not afraid, human.